Hi everyone, my name is Jenny and welcome back to my creative space. In today's video, I wanted to do a chit chat get ready with me where I am going to be talking about some of the media that I have been loving and enjoying the past few months. I did my March wrap up for the books that I read in the month of March, and I was talking about being in a sort of reading slump. And one of the things also that I think that encouraged me not to read as much was that I got a new Steam Deck. So we are going to talk about some gaming things that I've been doing lately while I get ready. So if you want to get ready with me as well or have me on the background, that would be great. Let's start off with the base of what I use. I use the Tear Cushion Foundation. I am in the shade 23N Sand, I believe is the color. Yes. So let's start off with gaming. So I kind of was feeling a bit slumpy with my reading, and so I decided, I was like, okay, let's go back into some games that I love and enjoy. I really like playing on my Switch, my Nintendo Switch. Like, that's primarily what I game on because I am quite a casual gamer. Like, I don't necessarily game that often, and then the games that I play aren't so strenuous, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not playing games like Overwatch and like doing all these online co-op type games where I kind of did play Overwatch before, but it was very casually done. I wasn't being like intense or anything. I didn't have like a whole team that I played with. I just like very casually played. But when I picked back up my Switch, I went back to play Echoes of Wisdom, which is the sort of 3D toon like Zelda remake. This one is completely new, but it's in the same sort of style that they had done the remake of Link's Awakening, which was like an original Zelda game. I forgot when that original one came out, but then I remember my brother had bought me Link's Awakening, and then so when they launched Echoes of Wisdom, I was like, oh, I really love the art style of this. But I really like tore through that game, and then when I got to the last dungeon that you play for Echoes of Wisdom before you do like the final boss, I completely stopped playing. So I ended up picking up the game and I beat it in like a day because I mean, I only had one dungeon left before the final boss. So I went and picked that up, did the thing. I think the ending story of Echoes of Wisdom was so cute. And honestly, the ending was a little bit emotional. I'm going to use the House Labs concealer. I am in the shade 14 Light Peach. But yeah, it was quite an emotional one, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun in like the Zelda world. So I decided to go back and play Tears of the Kingdom. I beat everything besides fighting the final boss, and the reason why I hadn't fought the final boss was because I actually watched my brother fight Ganon, and it freaked me out. Like, not that it's necessarily scary, but I mean, if you don't want any sort of spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom, you can like skip ahead when I have the Tears of the Kingdom thing out. But there's this aspect in Tears of the Kingdom that they kind of added where from Breath of the Wild where they have these gloom hands. And so like you encounter them in the surface world just casually. There's one shrine that you have to go to that's like kind of in a cave area, and a gloom hand pops out, and that thing scared the hell out of me. And not only that, but like the gloom hand like comes and like chokes you out, and like it takes away your ability to have hearts because like you have to be exposed to the sun, and they're usually like in areas where it's not sunny. And literally, you think that you're done fighting the gloom hands when they disappear, and then they become like a gloom version of Ganon himself. Oh my god, it scared me. And I think I just remembered that fight being so intense because like not only are you fighting Ganon, but then like he has these hordes of armies of gloom things that you have to fight. I mean, given that you have the assistance of like all of the 4 regions, you have to like complete those dungeons first so that you can get their assistance. If you like speed run the game and you didn't get all 4 of those, Ganon would probably be a little bit harder. But I don't know, just like the music and the score of that scene in general, I think the team did such a good job that I was so afraid to go back and play it. And I'm using Milk Dazed, the matte bronzer stick. But yeah, I was like, okay, I want to go back and get that done. And honestly, you know, despite being so afraid for my life, I actually beat Ganon in one go. I didn't die once. That was a feat in and of itself. I was like, oh my god, I thought I was gonna have to redo that final boss at least twice. But, you know, through the power of my pro gaming skills, I beat that man and I saved the entirety of Hyrule, which honestly, fantastic. It was so fun. And I just being able to play Legend of Zelda again and be back in that world, I was like, oh my gosh, I just genuinely love the Zelda world and like the franchise in general. It's like one of those fighting games that I enjoy because it just doesn't feel like there are parts in the game that are quite challenging, but it doesn't feel too overwhelming. I think when I watch people stream certain types of like fighting forward games, I feel very overwhelmed. But I think Zelda, like especially the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom franchise, the open world aspect of it, and like the fact that you can go and discover and you don't really have to follow this linear timeline, I think takes away the intensity that I feel around certain fighting games, if that makes sense. And I just had so much fun with it. I ended up starting a new save file for Breath of the Wild because I just want to like be back in that world again and get to see Link's story from the very beginning. And I kind of got off of the main plateau area and I'm starting to do the first Divine Beast for Breath of the Wild. And just the wonder and awe of being back in the world again and like that opening cutscene when Link wakes up from the shrine. Oh my gosh, it would just filled me with so much nostalgia. And I was like, oh, I remember playing this game the first time, like, what, 7 years ago? And it was just such a great feeling to be back in a world that is so familiar to me. And yeah, I just really love the Legend of Zelda game. I'm going to use Elf's Bronzing Drops. This one is in the shade Rose Gold. I'm just going to do it on the high points of my cheeks. But that made me kind of fall down a rabbit hole. I've also been watching Tori from Tori Between Pages. She streams on Twitch and she plays a lot of like fun games. She was playing Phasmophobia, which is like this like ghost hunting game that looks so fun, but it's co-op and I don't know that many people who would play Phasmophobia with me. Also, at the time, I didn't have like a setup to play it on, so watching her play was just so fun to see. Because I was watching her play that and she was like streaming Fields of Mystria, which is basically a Stardew Valley-esque game. Like it's very highly inspired by Stardew Valley, but the art style is kind of like Sailor Moon fantasy kind of thing. I was like, you know, I've been thinking about getting a Steam Deck for about a year now, and watching her play the game, watching her have a silly, goofy time. And then a few of my other friends were playing Coral Island and they were having a silly, goofy time. And I was like, you know, I haven't been all there recently. Like mentally, I've just been feeling in such a rut. And I think so many people that I know have been in such a rut. I was like, okay, people with the Steam Deck, please send me pictures of your Steam Deck. And if I should get it, please tell me. Also, I don't think I'm going to use a setting powder today. The Tear is like a natural finish and I think lays pretty well and wears well without having to be set, but I'm using a lot of cream products right now, so I think once I finish doing all the cream products that I'm using, I'll probably like maybe set my T-zone, but other than that, I think I'm pretty good to go. I'm going to start on the eyes, and so I'm using this Can Make eyeshadow primer. I would tell you what the shade is, but it's all in Japanese, and I can't read Japanese, so I apologize for that, but it's probably in like the lightest eyeshadow base shade. But back to the Steam Deck, I was like, okay, I know a few of my friends who have a Steam Deck and a Switch, and the thing is I've had my Switch, I think a year after the original Switch released is when I got it. It's been running strong, but unfortunately, some of the games that I want to play, like Coral Island and Fields of Mysteria, just aren't available. Fields of Mysteria isn't like fully out yet. I think when it's fully out, it'll probably be available on the Switch, but it's at the stage of early release. So I was like, I've been looking at this game for about a year now, since it first originally launched. And I asked my friend, like, can you send me pictures of like comparison of the Switch and the Steam Deck to see how big it is? Steam had a sale had their spring sale on games, and Coral Island and Fields of Mysteria were in that sale. And I was like, maybe I should just buy the game because I have a Steam account. I can buy the game and I can wait. But I talked to my mom about this. My mom is like somebody who, when I'm thinking of doing like a bigger purchase, I talk to her about it. And I was like, I've been looking at the system for about a year and I was thinking of getting a refurbished one. But, when a refurbished one comes up on the site, it's kind of hard to gauge when that'll happen because, like, refurbished, you're waiting for somebody to return their old system, for the team to inspect the system and all that. And, you just never know, versus getting a new one. And then somebody else in my group chat, she said that she had gotten it new as well. And, like, she's never regretted that purchase. And so my mom was like, well, if you've been, like, sitting on this for a year, and you use your Switch all the time, like, this is a system that you will be using and that will last you a long time, why not treat yourself? And so I did it. I treated myself. I have the Steam Deck. The one thing about the Steam Deck, I will say, it's not very girly pop. It's not very girly pop at all. Like, this is a hunk of a thing. And the thing is when you play, and I'm not playing anything too intense. My friend, she plays Boulder Gate on this, and I know that's like a big ass game. I've been playing Coral Island and Fields of Mysteria. They're not that big of game files, but sometimes the fan is working. The fan is so loud. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I am like really putting you through it while I do my little farming things. Pause there. I'm going to be using this palette from Peri Para. And then there's the back as well for you. I think I'm going to go for a simpler eyeshadow because I want to do like an interesting wing today. So I will go ahead and do that. I'm going to start off with this base shade here and do that all over my eyelid. The color of this one is called Mellow Brown. But yeah, so I got the system, obviously, and I started playing Fields of Mysteria. And I got the system as I was getting into like this slumpy feeling of my reading. And I was like, you know what, I'm enjoying this. It's okay. Like, reading isn't my job. It's a hobby, so it's okay if I'm not reading, right? But my God, that game took over my life. I also have been playing Coral Island, but I'm pretty sure I've been logging in more hours to Fields of Mysteria than I have Coral Island. I think just Fields of Mysteria is so easy to pick up. They have a lot more guidance and they hold your hand a little bit more than I think Stardew Valley does, but it has the same type of gameplay. Like, you inherit this farm, you're kind of helping rebuild this town, and you have like neighbor requests and things like that. You also have like a mine to unlock. But I do like the more fantasy forward aspect. I mean, I think Stardew Valley kind of has a fantasy thing with those like little Junimo characters that are in the town, but this one has like this dragon statue that is on your farm, and one of the characters is like an archaeologist, and he's trying to uncover some older things in the history of the town, which I think is really interesting that you can help him with. And like, I think all the side characters have such a fun like storyline to each of them. And one of the things that I really enjoy that I feel like I missed a lot in Stardew Valley is this sense of community. Like all of them have such interconnecting stories. One of the cute things in the Fields of Mystery, I think, is that they have Friday nights at the inn. And so you get to go to like the community inn where like they all have dinner together, and you can like talk to them, and they all have like conversations with one another. Like one of the conversations, they were playing Dungeons and Dragons, which is so cute. And like another time they were having like a book club and discussing the book that they were reading. And it's just so cute to have that community aspect in the story and to see how interwoven the community is in this. And I think just the gameplay in general is so fun, and it was so easy for me to pick up because I'd already played something like Stardew Valley. But I feel like if you've never played Stardew Valley, it's still pretty easy for you to pick up as well. Next, I'm going to go in with this darker brown shade here, and the shade is Green Syrup. I'm going to just do that in like the crease of my eye. I was having a lot of fun with that one. And then Coral Island, I will say Coral Island is much more intense of a game than Fields of Mysteria. And I think because it's just like a completed game and they have like all of the aspects of what they want already within the game. Because like, again, Fields of Mysteria is at early release, so it's not the full game completed quite yet. I think the developers are still working on certain things that they want to get done. But Coral Island just feels so intense because it's such a big game. It's the same aspect of Fields of Mysteria where you inherit this farm, but you inherit this farm on this island that is like kind of on its last leg, if I'm being honest. And the thing is you are helping them rebuild their town, but their town is like a victim to like, I think an oil spill. I think there was an oil spill somewhere on the mainland, and then like the oil came over and like ruined the ecosystem of the island. And so you're coming in and helping restore the island and all that, which is a fun concept, and it's a 3D. It's not a pixel art kind of thing. So I think the art style is fun, and I think the characters on there, I haven't gotten to know the characters as easily. I think in the beginning, it's a little clunky because your character, girl, your character is walking like she has all the time in the world. Like, well, I say she, it depends on, you know, you can be gender neutral as well. But like you are running around this town, not even running, like pick up your feet. The island is in disarray. There is this big corporate person that is attempting to take over the island and use it as like a freaking oil drill place and helping the people, the native people of the land and whatever. And she is just moving, my character is just moving so slow. I'm like, pick up the pace. And then the stamina, man, like I freaking watered like 2 plants and my stamina is gone. And I was just like, oh Lord. That's the one thing, like I get like in these games, you're just supposed to build up your like strength and all that stuff. But when the town folk are beating you up, not physically beating you up, but they're so mean to you. They're like, what are you doing on our island? You're gonna make all these things bad, and you're just gonna be a sellout and all these things. And it's like, I'm just here to get some crop seeds so that I can sell them, so that I can bring back money to the local economy, so that you can sell the vegetables I'm planting. at your local store? I've not done anything. And also, you asked me to come here. You asked me to come help you, and you're being mean about it. Like, I think there's like a few people who are like okay right off the bat, but there's quite a bit of people who are just so mean and nasty. Like, there's this one lady, she's like, "Oh, you're the farmer? I can tell by your outfit." And I'm like, oh, please, who are you? She's just saying hi. It's so intense. I was like, wow. Whereas Fields of Mystery, they're like, "Oh, who are you?" And then you explain, and then they're like, "Oh, well, I hope you like the town." Versus Coral Island, they're like, "Get the hell out of here." I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry." But all that to say, all the drama to say, I've been enjoying it. It's fun. I also like the aspect that you can go in the ocean because of that oil spill. Unfortunately, there's like a lot of trash in the ocean. So you get to like dive down and you get to like clean the ocean, and it's so satisfying. So, like, if you kind of like a cleaning sim, I think that would be so fun for you. But the world is just so expansive. And so every day that I wake up in my little game, it doesn't do a real day time loop. It's like the day is pretty quick, but you can put in the settings for the days to run slower. But every day that I wake up in the game, I'm like, what the hell am I doing today? Am I cleaning the ocean? Am I going to the mines? Am I farming? Am I cutting down trees? Am I gathering supplies? Or am I talking to the people? I'll be honest, I'm not talking to people. I'm not talking to them. All of them are so mean. Sometimes I'm like, I think I've befriended like 3 people, which is fine, fine enough. But I'm like, I'm too weak for this. I'm too weak for you guys to be so mean to me. I'm gonna darken up my lash line by using this shade here. And the shade is Cream Cheese. But yeah, it's just been so fun getting to play those games. And because there's like some sort of dialogue and it's not necessarily like brain off, I haven't just been reading as much, but I've been really enjoying the gameplay. And I will say that I do favor Fields of Mystria when I want something a little less intense. I think it's because Coral Island gives you so much freedom that it's a bit of decision fatigue when I get on there. But the aspect of the game, and like especially the ocean cleanup part, I've gotten to like the big thing in the ocean cleanup, which I really am liking and enjoying, and it's really fun, and I think the art style is really cute. I just can't wait for when the neighbors don't hate me anymore. I think I just finished spring, so like I'm not really that deep into the game at all. But yeah, like just having these people be like my number one haters is so crazy. So crazy. I get and I understand because like I came in around the same time that this corporate lady came in, and like, yeah, stranger danger and all of it. But like, what just confuses me is that y'all hired me. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't understand the hate. But like, you know, I guess I just have to socialize and convince them that, I'm not hateable. I'm just a farmer. And the freaking farm they gave me has all this trash on it. Like, put some respect on my name, please. It's ridiculous. So ridiculous. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been like really playing those games and having a fun, silly time. The Nintendo Switch 2 Direct has happened, and I will say I was so excited for the Nintendo 2 Switch Direct, and like the whole reveal video of it all was so fun. And I was like kind of iffy about it because they were like not saying prices at all. I was like, okay, that's fine, I guess. But I would like to know how much the system is. The thing is, before the release of Switch 2, I kind of was not planning to get it right off the bat anyway, because that's exactly what I did with my Nintendo Switch. I waited like a year before I got the system. And I'm just using the honey, this shade right here, Honey Cookie, to kind of brighten up the inner area there. But yeah, I was like, okay, I think that if they drop like Animal Crossing or a new Zelda game, I could be convinced to potentially get it sooner. But my idea was that because I got a Steam Deck recently, I don't really need to get a new system right off the bat. I could be convinced. I think what I'm gonna do though is wait for a special edition, because the Switch that I have is the all black system, and like my Steam Deck is also all black. And so I'm thinking like it would be fun to have a special edition of the system. And also because I kind of didn't get the special edition of the Tears of the Kingdom OLED Switch, I just couldn't justify having two systems, because like I use my Switch to death, and like there's no need for a second system that's basically the same, just different exterior. I ended up getting a case that kind of mimics that, so that's what I ended up doing. But I'm waiting for a special edition. I was having a lot of fun watching the direct, and I think a lot of the things for the system is really fun. I will say it is a bit pricey. I was kind of expecting it to be pricey given like just where we are at in the economy, to be honest. Like, and also because Nintendo is such a big company, like, I don't know, I just kind of make the assumption that people are going to be pricing things a little bit higher. I was thinking that it would be around the same price as a Steam Deck, but for it to be like $450, I'm like, okay. To me, I can justify that price because I'm a casual gamer. I know the only two devices that I use now is my Steam Deck and my Switch, and I use the two of those very evenly. Like, I don't favor one system over the other. That's because I have games in each of them that I really, really enjoy. So I know I'm going to use the system. I think as of today, I've had my Switch for about 7 years, and it has run really well for me. So I think knowing how much I've used my Switch, I think I can justify the price of the Switch 2 system, because I know that I'm going to be using it for a really long time, and I don't have any other gaming systems at all besides the Steam Deck, because I really like portable handheld gaming. So I'm okay with like investing in that when the time comes, when a special edition comes out. But the gaming price is so intense. Because tell me why, when I was like, okay, they're not going to tell us the price, let me go see what the folks in the journalism streets are telling us. Why is Mario Kart $80? Can somebody tell me? I am not an expert in product development, in game creation. I do see that Mario Kart World is open world. There's some like co-op online. But why are we charging like $80, $90 for this game? Because Tears of the Kingdom was open world, and I know a lot of people were complaining at the time that it was $7. $7, imagine. It was $70, and I was like, okay, well, I had one of those game vouchers that you could pay for like, what is it, $99 or something like that, and you could get 2 Nintendo mainline games, and so I used that to get Tears of the Kingdom, but they're not doing those vouchers anymore. I'm curling my lashes. This is the Shu Imura one. I like it because it's much flatter than I think some of the more American brands. The thing is super curved, and you know, it just didn't fit and grab my lashes. This one is more flat. The fact that it's freaking $80, I'm like, given that if you buy it in the bundle, I think it equates to $50 when you buy it in the Switch Mario Kart World bundle. But again, I want a special edition, so if I bought a special edition, it wouldn't be with Mario Kart. And I'm like, girl, I know that they have this thing with like sharing. So like if my brother gets Mario Kart, I'm like, hey dude, I'm gonna need you to send me that game tomorrow because I'm not paying $80 for it. So yeah, I think that the excitement of the Switch 2 was so fun to like be a part of, and like getting to watch the direct with some of my friends and chat about it, so exciting. And I think just the price drop kind of soured the excitement of it all. And like even watching the Nintendo Treehouse where they're showing all the games, like the Kirby game looks so cute. Even the Donkey Kong, the new game that they're releasing, looks so cute too. And it's like in the freaking live stream, it's just people like drop the price, drop the price, drop the price. I'm not buying this, drop the price. And I'm like, in this world that we live in, I think it's a very small ask to have a little bit of joy. And this kind of sucked the joy out of the whole announcement. I'm going to do, I kind of did this out of order. Usually I do my eyebrows first, but you know, I'm distracted talking to you. I'm going to just use a mascara to put on that. And then after I do mascara is when I usually do my eyeliner, and I'll show you why. It's because I put on my eyeliner with my eyes open, and because I'm doing something a little bit different today, it just helps frame the eye for me, and is basically a guide to where I'm putting on my eyeliner, but I'll do my brows right after I do this. You are a Nintendo girly? Please comment below what you think. I'd love to chat about it because it definitely is fun, and I know that down the line, like maybe a year from now, I will be getting a Switch too. I know that I will because I just know that I've been like a Nintendo games player all my life, and like I don't really branch out that much further outside of Nintendo, and like a lot of indie games are available on the Switch, and I just like portable gaming. Like I rarely ever play on like desktop ever, and it just is the type of gamer that I know that Nintendo is a system that works for me as somebody who doesn't want to think about all those different aspects. Like I can just hop into a game and it be fun and silly and goofy. And I just know that the new Zelda game, whenever that comes out, will have to be available on the Switch too. Like I don't think they'll have a Switch compatible game for that. And that's probably when I'll get the Switch 2. I am using the e.l.f. Ultra Precision Brow Pencil. All that to say, I'm still excited for it, and I think my brother is pre-ordering the system. I know that the system pre-orders got delayed because of, you know, the tariffs. But we'll see how that goes. He is pre-ordering it. He is definitely like a big Nintendo person. Like when we were younger, my older brother and sister both had like a Game Boy. My sister had the purple one, which is so fun. And I think my brother had was his yellow? Can't remember. But yeah, like we've just had Nintendo in our lives for our whole lives. Like my dad introduced us to gaming with the Nintendo 64. And like I've just been a Nintendo gal, so I know that they're gonna get me with this. I know when they drop that Zelda special edition, I'm gonna be at the door. But I'm just hoping that the pricing of games like this is a one-off, and it's not like every freaking game on the system is gonna be $90, because that would just be so heartbreaking. Like, how are you gonna be able to afford playing games now? Okay, brows are done. I do like to put in some gel, and I'll show you what I do for my brow gel. I have this old Anastasia like container for the dip brow, but in there I've put hair gel, clear hair gel. I'll put the brand over here. I can't remember, but I use this as my brow gel because like it's hair gel, so it holds really well. And I use like this sort of brush here, and then I just comb it through. It stays really well. I will say, like, don't go ham and happy with this because a little goes a long way, and you don't want to like have like a clump of gel in your hair. I think now let's get into the eyeliner. So I'm using this One Day Tattoo liquid liner. This is from a Japanese brand, but I'm using it in their brown shade. Let me see if I can zoom up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is like do like a double stack liner. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I will show you what I do. Usually when I do my eyeliner, I keep my eye open. So I'm gonna just do a basic line. And usually when I do my eyeliner, I don't take the like line all the way over to my like inner corner. I feel like for me, it closes up my eyes. So I kind of just do it maybe a third of the way into my lash line. So like here is where I'm stopping my eyeliner. And I kind of just brush it behind my lashes. And so that is like the baseline there. And then, so where my crease is here is where I'm going to do a line and connect the winged liner. So I kind of just lightly did it because I'm just doing an outline, but like that is the shape that I'm going for to do a double stack wing. Switching my eyeliner to this Para one. This is also in brown. I'm just switching it out because my tattoo one is very dry. So let's go back in there and just do yeah, there's that one. I'm gonna do this one and do like a little fast forward moment for you. And this is the liner look. So this is the winged liner. I really like the way it opens up my eyes. And then the next thing I'm going to do is blush, and I'm using the House Labs Glassy Blush in Glassy Watermelon. I really like this formula. It has almost like a dewy look to it and very natural. Oh, I've got a lot on my nose. Let's pray that I can blend this out. And I'm using this fluffy Sephora mini brush that I got in like a free thing. But yeah, if you're a casual gamer like me, I'd love to know what games that you like to play, because I've been really into playing games recently and getting back into playing like games that I love. It's just so nice to be in like, you know, Legend of Zelda, seeing like playing the game over again. It's kind of like rereading one of your favorite books and you're like, yeah, this is why I love the book. It's so fun. I don't think I believe in blush blindness. I think blush really pulls together a look. But you know, if you're not a blush lover, don't say anything to me because, you know, I'm always going to put on blush. So after I did that, I'm going to finally set, and I'm using the Can Make setting powder. Oh, you can see me. This one is like a multicolor powder, but I'm going to just do that and then do my T-zone and do a little bit under there. I like doing this kind of after all of my cream products because I feel like it just settles better that way. But I don't need to set my whole entire face. So like that's all there is. And then I'm going to use the Tear Glow Shimmer Stick. And I'm going to just do it on the tip of my nose. And then on the bridge of my nose. Kind of blend that out a little bit. And then the high points of my cheeks. Ta-da! I am using the Lily by Red Smiley Lip Blending Stick as my lip liner. I don't know the color because I can't read Korean. I mean, I kind of can, but I can't tell you what the Korean on there says. So, my apologies. This one is a very like taupey contoury shade, so I don't really use it like all around lip liner. I'm going to do the bottom of my lip here. I'm going to blend it out. And then I do a little bit of shading at my cupid's bow. And then shading around the inner corner. Blend, blend. Okay, I'm going to use this color Rum Raisin. I'm going to do it in the inner part of my mouth, my lips. You know, I was also going to talk about the animes I've been watching recently, but, you know, I've been yapping so much about games, and I've been recording for so long that you're probably like, shut up, nobody wants to know. I'm using e.l.f. the Glow Reviver Lip Oil, and this is in the shade Jam Session. I am such a gloss girl, so I really like this formula. It has like an interesting minty smell to it, but it doesn't have like a plumping effect or anything that I know of. But there's the lip for you. And then I think I'm going to add some shimmer to my inner corners. I'm using this Can Make Shimmer Duo. This is in the shade 6. I just completely took off the friggin' cover. But in the shade 6. And then there's the shimmer. There's like one that's a little bit thinner and one a little bit chunkier, but I'm going to use the one over here. And just do it on my inner corner. And then I'm going to bring it like up to there. But yeah, I've been just really into gaming recently. And also I've been really into watching anime again. It's because my friend Nat, they were like, you should watch Seventh Time Loop. I really enjoyed that anime. And so I watched that, and it basically is like this woman, she is in like a time loop of her life, and she's killed by this same man over and over again. And the same man that kills her is like the prince of this opposing kingdom. And she has just been living all these lives to figure out why the hell she's like the person he kills, or like why he's her murderer every single time. It was such a compelling anime, and it's only one season so far. And I was like, it's so compelling, I want to pick up the light novels next. But because of that anime they told me to watch, I started watching like a bunch of different ones in the same vein. So like Relia, why Relia ended up in the Duke's mansion or something like that. I started watching that one, and then I watched like I Want to Be the Greatest Villainess in History. All of like, I don't think the genre is exactly isekai, but like, especially Seven Time Loop, I don't think that one's isekai because she's not dropped in like a new world. It's just that she is revived every single time she dies. So that's like a time loop genre, whereas like the other ones, they're dropped up into like a romance game and they have to be the villainess in the romance game. I think those animes are just so fun. And it's really interesting seeing like from the perspective of a villainess instead of like the main heroine. Also, Apothecary Diaries, the second season is out, and I've been watching that like every single new episode that they release, so in real time. And I've just been having so much fun watching anime again and like getting to see all of these storylines with like very interesting, strong female characters and like getting to see like the romance of it all. I will say the villainess, I'll go down in history as the greatest villainous one. The romance in that one isn't my favorite part. I actually don't really like the romance in that one, if I'm being honest, because the age gap is just kind of strange. But the actual heroine or the villainess, I think she is such a compelling and fun character. And so I've been having fun doing that as well. I don't know if like the whole look is coming onto the camera as much as I like see it in real life. But yeah, that's the look for today. Something simple. This is kind of the look that I do almost every day. The only thing I switch up is like maybe the lip color, maybe the blush a little bit, and then like sometimes instead of the double stack eyeliner, I'll just do like the normal base. But yeah, that's my everyday routine that I do. Thank you for being with me as I yap about literally gaming most of the time. I thought I would have more time to talk about anime, but if you want me to talk about some of the shows that I've been watching recently and some anime that I really highly recommend, do put that in the comments below because I would like to know if you are even interested in watching me talk about that. I know this isn't as bookish as all my other videos, but I do kind of want to expand the things that I talk about because this is a channel for my hobbies, and you know, reading is one of my big hobbies, but there's other things that I dabble in as well that I think some of you could relate to or find interesting, but I would also like to know your opinion. If you made it this far but don't have anything else to say, let's leave dragon emojis in the comments for Caldaris from Fields of Mystria. That has been such a fun thing that I've been doing recently, is playing that game. So do put that in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!